I have a great story. Probably absolutely one of the first customers I ever started banking. He came to me. His request was an extremely small business loan. It really wasn't, anything larger than a car loan, but it has grown over the 8 years that I've been here. He has thoroughly succeeded and has become one of the best customers of the bank. He's loyal. He refers business to me every day, every chance that he gets, and that's cool.
We'll jump right into a relatively brief agenda that we have for this week. Item number 1, approval of the minutes of the last Tuesday's meeting. Okay. A little more lengthy than typical. There they are. Go ahead and bring Mr. Shaw up here for item number 2, ordinance 7408, changing the zoning. Tract of land from ag district to light industrial district. Warren. Kelly? Map in its normal location.
This is a request proposed by the Texas Air and Space Museum, which I learned a little bit more about processing this than I previously knew. But they're wanting to move their current facilities over to this location, which is just north of 3rd Street, just west of Airport Boulevard. The old Atterbury grain elevators are there, and they have several structures associated with that. They're wanting to move to that particular piece of property. Apparently, they've talked to several people who are familiar with the type of business that they're in and what they want to do, and it came down to everybody felt that this was something that became available that they thought they wanted to take advantage of as far as the future of that museum. They plan on using some of the existing facilities for aircraft restoration, aircraft assembly, some other aircraft-related uses. However, the property is zoned agricultural as it is now, and it's basically just a placeholder zoning. There is heavy commercial zoning across 3rd Street, and there's light industrial, obviously, with the airport, which is to the west and north, and then you have the planned developments that are associated with Bell Helicopter. So in order to be able to do what they wanted to do, staff felt that light industrial zoning would be appropriate, and because of the actual property that they were purchasing, it was going to leave about a 2-acre tract there on the left, on the west, where it was going to remain agricultural. So just to kind of tidy that up a little bit, we expanded the zoning to include that 2-acre tract. The property owner had no problem with it, and therefore it'd be one contiguous zoning as far as the light industrial. Good. Given the uses that they propose, given the surrounding property zoning and the land use and zoning pattern of pretty much the entire area, Planning and Zoning Commissioners felt that the request was appropriate and recommended approval of it unanimously.
What's the land use right now in the extended area?
The land use right now, it's unused.
I like it every time that it says the comprehensive plan, and then planning and zoning falls through. I think that's a
right,
good deal.
It signifies this as being a commercial area, obviously, but also that we mentioned that with all of the aircraft-related uses going on, this is kind of becoming our aircraft campus, so to speak, or district, and this would fit right in with that. And
is this remaining area still in private agency? This triangle?
Triangle?
The green triangle?
Yes.
Always.
Couple of questions. How come, this is curiosity on this one, the city of Amarillo is dynamic, cohabiting?
Because the property owner was only requesting the change in zoning of the portion of that property where it says original request. City staff expanded it to include that 2-acre tract that's that triangle to the west.
And will they access the runways.
No.
So this is off-site.
This is offsite, and it doesn't show on the aerials, but there is a phenomenal elevation difference
This is
between up
way
here at
high.
the hammerhead and down here.
There's a big ditch at the end, too.
It's a museum.
It's a museum, they don't have anything that actually flies, do they?
You do.
Actually, every one of the aircraft that the Army supplied are supposed to keep type ready.
Oh, really?
Some of the pictures that I saw looked like they were.
I wouldn't
They
believe it.
have one of NASA's planes. Half of it flies like a jet airplane, and the other half flies like the shuttle when it comes in. They actually have that. It flew into Amarillo not too long ago, a year and a half ago.
It's sitting out
It's
there.
the plane, they fly it up and then put it into some kind of a dive to simulate that free fall. So
It's got
it's
a
a
hyperbolic
functioning-
chamber in there.
Yeah, that thing, that big word.
The gravity, simulated gravity kind of thing. Then they've got Old Caribou, that's a pretty cool. Last of the gas engines, right, George?
What they have, their P-51 or something like that?
Well, there's a guy that loans it from Border. I don't know well.
Caribou was supposed to have been one of General Westmoreland's planes.
It was
If you haven't been out to their current museum, they need more room.
Well, fortunately, those guys have volunteered in space for about 4 years.
But, yeah, and they are packed.
They're back.
Good job, Kelly.
You bet.
Okay, item number 3, resolution public hearing. This is the action item version of the two different items we have. This is for 313 Southeast 22nd Avenue. You see in there your resolution. We'll of course have that excerpt of resolution at your place along with, and then some recent photographs of the property. And this is right here as you're coming up I-27, right before you would take the exit to put you on I-40 East is where this property sits.
There's probably a few more houses in that neighborhood that are gonna be in that category.
It looks like no debris around it, though.
The outside of it right now, they'll have better pictures of the full exterior. But, not in good shape.
Okay.
And item number 4, appointments, boards, and commissions. This is for your board of review for landmarks and historic districts. Kim Crawford, Mason Rogers, Howard Smith are all current members. This is a unique board. It requires representation for certain different disciplines or areas of expertise. And all 3 of these have indicated that they would be willing to accept reappointment if you would choose.
Okay.
Consent agenda. Consent item A, purchase of police vehicles. Merits a little additional explanation for you. This is the first time you've seen us buy a large number of SUVs. As you'll recall, a year ago, we bought the first fleet of cars that were not Crown Victorias, because they're no longer made. Well, we have the car version of these SUVs. And we're having a little bit of difficulties between the amount of equipment that's in the vehicles and the ability then to get in and out of them quickly and to use them for all of the officers. This group was good enough back in, I believe, January, excuse me, to allow us to buy 2 of the SUV versions of these cars. Now, these are not like Expeditions, like our big ones. We bought 2 of them and rigged them out and tried them, and I think they went over much better as far as usability for a patrol vehicle
Then the Fusion.
than the Fusion, Super Taurus, whatever they're calling it. We hurt the chief's feelings if we call it anything other than Interceptor.
That sounds smart.
It's actually a Super Taurus.
This is sort of in like an Explorer Interceptor.
A little bit smaller than an Explorer.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is to me.
Regardless of Ford, you know.
Because Ford is marketing both of these vehicles specifically to police fleets, we're able to buy those SUVs for $314 more than we can buy the cars.
Good.
So, ask your permission for this year's buy, rather than the cars, to buy the SUVs and see how we get along with those. They're still all-wheel drive. And
I'm trying to get an idea of how big those are. It's an Explorer. They can say what they want, but it's exactly an Explorer.
Oh, here's the full.
Match the.
So it's not a
match the
little compact,
wheelbase.
it's not the big one, it's
It's
empty in it.
the new Explorer, it's exactly it.
They're pretty roomy.
Yeah.
Especially the back seat, right?
That too, yeah.
I saw on it,
Chief picked me up one night and gave me a ride.
in the back, yeah.
And they've got the same performance that the cars do, the same engine.
Rumor has it I got to drive
They'll
on
do
these,
well.
and they're actually pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
A little bit better than-
that's because of that label on the front.
a little bit better than-
I don't sell them anymore.
What are you?
It's just
What's
they're,
your
I've
Ford
run
manual?
blue
What's the
in,
Ford
I've
manual?
run, see the blue in my veins.
I like code papers.
The six cylinders have more horsepower than the 302 Mustangs.
Oh.
Yeah,
You can
Ford
imagine
guy
that.
too.
Oh.
You know, dad career and all that, so.
Is that right?
Love my Fords.
Hey, you're in a Ford now, settle down.
I've got a bunch of them now.
Well, good, as long as the Chiefs have yours.
My three big ones are Fords. This is not as big as that pickup y'all have seen me driving around in, if that helps. It's scaled down a little smaller than
Yeah.
that.
You know, I
Not the
saw
super
one
duper
of the
dually cab.
Fusions came to our lot for a deal. You cannot hardly sit in the passenger seat with a computer. And if you were, you'd have to be trained to sit in there. In the passenger front seat.
It's actually a Taurus.
Is it a Taurus?
Fusions are a little.
Well, and Mayor, I would agree. I've been in one of them that's rigged out, and from the driver's seat, it drives and handles great. Getting in and out is difficult, and reaching things in the middle. I couldn't. I had to get out of the car and then, reach back in, get a hold
I don't
of
see
it.
how you'd put a trainee in the front, with all the computers.
You gotta train yourself not to hit your head getting in and out of the Taurus version, where this is much easier to get in and out of. Provides a whole lot better visibility when you're driving it. You're up a little higher and you see a lot better.
Well, and people see it too, which is good. That's why we got it.
He's not talking about it.
Okay.
I think you're gonna see more and more of this. I've noticed more SUVs on the counties, and the Highway Patrol now has a new batch of, and I think theirs are Tahoes, they're big.
Yeah, they'll be
Yeah,
trained.
your brother drives one. Ford's the best.
Because of that five-letter word, right?
Kissing up
That
now.
five-letter word, Shady?
You're just kissing up now.
No, yeah, Ford's the best.
No, he's right. Ask
Oh,
him.
good, I'm glad we're improving our
Ask
fleet.
him.
So these are four-wheel drive?
Yeah, all-wheel drive.
All-wheel, sorry.
They kick in independently as the.
The gas more?
Oh, there's a difference.
I didn't realize.
It transfers the traction.
Yes, okay. Does it work in snow?
Yes, it works on the same.
I don't know that they'll be bulletproof compared to what we had this year, but they'll be a whole lot better than what we were driving around in.
Is the gas more than a car?
I don't-
A little bit.
So you know,
cars are
Ford
all-wheel
won't allow
drive
you
too,
to install,
but they don't have the clearance.
they didn't want us
Yeah.
to install the push guards on the front because it negated the airbags.
I didn't know cars were all.
The new ones are, the little Taurus cars are.
Oh, okay.
The
We
Crown
don't
Vics
need
are.
liability
But you
for
can't,
push
you have to
bars
restart
because the
it.
airbags reacted differently. And the sensors aren't tripped as easily. So they wouldn't let us, they sent a letter out saying, do not put any push bars on.
We gotta have
I think that was so they could sell more front
Oh, wait,
bumpers.
did you know about that?
I don't think it's standard.
Airbags.
Mayor, moving right along to item B. Randall County collection contract for your PIDs, your public improvement districts. In the past, the county's expense or charge that was levied against the PIDs for collecting their fees was all different. What they brought forward now is a flat uniform fee of $8. This is for PIDs that are in Randall County. Of course, we still have two that are in Potter County as well. So this will only cover the Randall County PIDs. If you want to do the math, it's 8 times 1,628, and that covers what they do for their part of
Is that an increase?
it. Judge?
Yes, it charges a little more for the smaller PIDs, charges a little less for the bigger PIDs. So it's just, it used to kind of be all over the map, and they would charge a one-time setup fee, which was big, and then they would seem like it was kind of an arbitrary number for this is going to be standard and applied across all PIDs.
That's good. The people paying the bid won't notice the difference.
I mean, if they look really closely, some of them look really
Ceiling.
closely.
Oh, because it comes out there,
Yeah.
yeah.
It comes out of
Right.
them.
It would be added to that.
We
Okay.
don't set this.
No.
No.
It's incorporated in their overall assessment, but it shouldn't have any kind of measurable impact. If anything, it would help.
If they come to see us, we'll let you explain.
Tell them, go to your kid board.
Well, you don't hate to say it, but this is truly one of those things, we don't have an option. We don't collect
We don't
on
collect.
these fees, that has to go through the counties. So
Is that by state statute? What is that?
the city hadn't collected taxes since,
Oh,
when we closed the tax office.
Colorado Appraisal District, that's 20 years ago.
Yeah, you used to have
Right,
an
that's-
appraisal group and a tax group in every taxing entity. And when the common appraisal districts came out, a lot of that went away. Pretty much your counties collected. And your appraisal district, which is separate, is where all of the appraisals are done, regardless of which entity it was for.
It's an alternative form of collection that's allowable by state law. The city can do it, which is what we're doing now in Potter County, but we only had a few accounts in Potter County. And the last time we talked to Potter County about doing something similar with Randall County, they really weren't interested in getting into the business, and they had a really high charge they were gonna do. And at that time, Dean Vergoon said, we'll just do it ourselves, since it's only so many accounts. But if we get bigger pits in Potter County, eventually it's probably not going to be.
I think the little small pit in Quail Creek, points west, is the only
And
two.
vineyards.
Vineyards,
Tom Nielsen's,
that's vineyards.
he just pays that himself.
Yeah, there's no collection yet.
Yeah, good.
There's also not much fee out there.
If Loma or somebody decided to do a pit, then
Be a lot of tracks in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Be a lot of tracks. They do all theirs through HOA pretty much. And we don't get any HOAs.
yeah, they have their own boards now.
Stay separate.
Maybe they could do that in Westcliff.
Thank you, Kelly. Questions on the agenda?
No. Simple agenda.
Real,
Hey, Mayor, if we could, we'll move to closed session and we'll get all or most of it done prior to the
Okay,
meeting.
all.
Call off.
I thought we had an allergy.